After every dreary rain, the sky sends us a message of hope. We call it a rainbow. After every moment of peril and pain, life sends us a message of hope, and we call it a smile. Eid Mubarak, everyone. This is Anshu Jain, and I would like to welcome you all on our Eid special segment, The Rainbow. The routine smile presented to you by Qatar Indians is an effort aimed at exploring your options to smile through the dimensions of challenges. Well, today on this special segment, we have in conversation with us a cloud of knowledge, a shower of experience, and a rainbow of hope, Dr. R. Seetharaman. I prefer introducing him always as a college of banking, a compilation of doctorates, a counselor on collaterals, a corporate game changer, a cautious observer of energy and environment, a connoisseur of art, and a complete CEO. Well, the accolades, awards, honors, doctorates, PhDs conferred on this Pravasi Bharatiya Samman awardee would leave us exhausted of time. A regular invitee on international media such as BBC, CNN, CNBC, Sky Media, and many more. Please help me welcome the Group CEO of Doha Bank, Dr. R. Seetharaman. Thank you so much, sir, and a warm welcome to this humble human effort, the routine smile.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your special program.
Thank you, sir. So, every good yield needs a fertile land. What was that one factor you found most fertile in Qatar to do banking?
Well, Qatar's governance and the considered vision to get their priorities right. See, it's not only the economic governance, the human governance, social governance, environmental governance are all converging. And that's a place where you will have long-term commitments. Say, financial institution itself is not a short-term governed, value-centric principles. It is a long-term committed mission. If a country has got greater substance in terms of all the pillars, economic, social, environmental, and also the overall philosophy in terms of transparency and commitment, then it makes sense for professionals like me to align and come to terms. That's what I did after working for 18 years in Oman.
True, sir.
I felt this is a country where a long-term sustainability is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a good call to come to Qatar, and it has been quite meaningful, purposeful, and rewarding as well.
Yes, sir. So we all know that banking is one such sector which is the most important when we talk about any dimension.
Yeah.
To what extent are the employees in banking sector an integral matter that really matters, and which segment of them are the most affected in this current scenario? Ground level, management, or the mid-level?
See, the banking means it is not only the financial capital, it's a human capital which drives the financial institution. It's intellectual integration. If you look at the banking itself, it's an intellectual property in substance. The concept is you are integrating clearly the knowledge society and align yourself with the changing dynamics of local or regional or global. It's not confined to economics. It is integral part of the overall governance. That's why I use the expression governance, because politics is governed. Again, when it comes to banking, convergence of economics and politics in substance. At the same time, professional center banking practice, whether it is a investment bank or typical commercial bank like us, where we have wholesale, retail, treasury, investments, again, international cross-border investments plus the banking. Essentially, the trade or the treasury, where we have plowing the shareholders' money into productive use. What the bank does typically, buying the money and selling the money, right?
Yeah.
Buying money is in the form of shareholders' capital, more than the shareholders' capital over 10 times.
Mhm.
It is customer deposits,
Mhm.
bank borrowings. So then we collect the pool. From this pot, again, we sell the money in the form of investments or lending or placement with around the world. So this is a typical role, buying and selling in a different form and substance. Like a trading you do, we deal with buying and selling of money. It goes in the form of advances, whether it is loan or overdraft or bill discounting or bill purchase, funded or non-funded or project specifics, or when it comes to investments, equity market or bond market, property market, we invest money.
Yeah.
So the overall plot is buying money and selling money, and you have the markup between these two is a profit, and it goes to all the stakeholders. It's first of all, it is shareholders, it's customers who have put in extraordinary faith in the public financial institutions. Banking is always global. Banking is always public. It is not private. It is not local. Even if you call it as a private bank or private shareholders who owns a bank, or even if it is a local bank, it is global. It is public.
Mhm.
So again, regulators, you cannot do on your own. There is
Mhm.
established universal axioms in terms of capital rules, in terms of the investment rules, in terms of your exposure, in terms of risk around the world, the market risk, operational risk, credit risk. So you have to understand all these dynamics are being regulated, and your policies and procedures or process are all set to universal standards and the local governance. You have every country has got local regulators, in this case, Qatar Central Bank. So again, society at large, social risk management is integral part of it, because more than the shareholders' money, as I said in the beginning, public deposit is there. 10 times of the shareholders' money, typically 8 to 10 times, will be the public deposits.
Mhm.
So who is at stake? Public is at stake. So our interest is to protect the public. So you have a social risk management. You are part of the society. It is not like running my own enterprise as a proprietary level. It is transparency, governance, and coming to terms in terms of the overall universal axioms to see your reputation, your goodwill, your trust is the real confidence. So all the stakeholders play a role. It is not only shareholders, staff, and on top of it, the human capital. Typical example of my institution, if you look at it, I have, global functional experts are coming from different parts of the world, and they have experienced in different, countries with the functional discipline, whether he's a wholesale banker or a technology experts or a card expert or a treasury experts or a trade expert or a financial experts. They're all coming together from around the world in a typical open market like Qatar. So human capital plays a bigger role in terms of substance, and that drives the considered vision as well as the execution to professional respects.
True, sir. So indeed, it's a huge responsibility. It's a big responsibility
Yes.
that all the banks globally are playing at the moment. So, but we know that this phase is really a tough phase. The situation is really critical, and most of the organizations are facing the impact of this particular phase. So, what are the components you have
Yes,
considered
ma'am.
as an employer to protect your employees in these tough times?
Well, it's as I said, importance of human capital cannot be overemphasized. But human, capital plays a commitment to the overall sustenance of the institution. So we have to make sure that their safety is our safety. So
Mhm.
social distancing norms
Mhm.
and maintaining the cleansing and hygiene factor, ensuring on-site, off-site, split,
Mhm.
ensuring disaster recovery management,
Mhm.
making sure we have remedial management in case if there are casualties or if there is, reasons to believe some of the staff needs private health attention. So all these are integral part of the overall combination. At the same time, the business is as usual. So conceptually, you have to start with disaster recovery management because it came all of a sudden like a tsunami. World over, it was infecting. It has bycrossed all the territorial integrity, caste or creed or religion or rich or poor countries or advanced or emerging markets. It has crossed all the borders. So essentially, human capital plays a big role, and we have a right responsibility to make sure their safety is our safety. Now, for example, 80-20 rule we apply. I'm operating from home, and clearly it doesn't mean I'm compromising on my commitment. I mean that I have to stay off-site. And similarly, there are many staff, 80% of the staff are off-site. At the same time, customer service is happening. Online, real-time, whatever the business we are supposed to do, we have to do. We've studied the market, we listen to the regulators, execute the government directives, ensure that our business is as usual. At the same time, recovery, disaster recovery management, contingency management, and shutting down certain specific pockets if need be. If there are casualties, we have to look at. If there is a spread of one or two cases, we have to look at what initiatives we have to take, how to make sure sustainable technology comes in, digitization comes in, how to shift the customer service in different pockets to various digital channels, whether SMS banking, mobile banking, GPRS. All these things are very important. So essentially, it is a composite, commitment to our human capital as well as customers.
True, sir. So it's a time wherein it's equally important to take care of the employees as well as the customers, because all of them are working at the moment. Their physical health, at the same time, their safety, it really matters a lot. So, however, when thunder strikes, the waves travels far. So what do you think that which other adjacent segments or sister segments, according to you, are most affected? And what is going to be the future for them that we can presume for them?
Right. Anshu, the financial crisis came in 2008. That was confined to advanced economies. The emerging market or developing economies were under control. They were even having extraordinary performance. But this crisis is a great recession. After 1930 depression, this is an absolute impact in terms of global productivity, global trade, global investments, global banking, global finance. Now the world is going to contract nearly 3.9%. Even countries like India, hardly they can recover from the recession. So essentially, they are going to underperform, and there are indications they will be doing around 1 to 1.9%. But these are indicators. End of the day, the global contraction will have impact and downsizing the whole economies around the world. That's inevitable. It means which sector, every country, even a very strong, fundamentally, financial stability is there, good governance is there. Even these economies, because of the interconnectivity, interdependence in terms of global trade, global banking, global investments, will underperform. Like, for example, Qatar. Qatar also will go through nearly 4.5% contraction this year. And, the global downturn is around 3.9%. Global trade is impacted. Again, whether it is hospitality industry or whether it is, when it comes to trade, real estate, contracts, manufacturing, service industries are completely impacted, except Medicare, healthcare systems, food industries, big enterprises can hold the sustainability card. But they are also impacted because the cost of executing this, because distribution channels are paralyzed. The overall, if you look at the bigger picture, there's no exception to the framework. Every single part of the business is impacted, including banking. Yeah. So it is not business as usual. In economic terms, we call it as new normal. And that is the impact of the pandemic. And we don't know. There are speculations whether it is U-shape, V-shape, W-shape, or L-shape. Now, all sort of speculation is there. U-shape is a base case. V shape is immediately it's going to recover. When it comes to W shape, it'll end in summer, but it'll relapse in winter. My forecast is still we are reeling under the pressure of the 2008 crisis. I said this in many financial media, even as good as in the beginning of this year, that we are not out of the wood, out of the 2008 crisis, and we have only artificially fixed the liquidity to funding to solvency to sovereign. Now this crisis, COVID-19, is going to continue for 20 and 21 minimum. So essentially it's going to be an L-shaped recovery. It means we are talking about not less than 2 years. All these sectors will be impacted. That's why the governments are giving specific directives to improve the liquidity in the market space. They're giving directives to lend for disabled sectors. They want to support the liquidity by adding value of postponing. The banks are postponing the loan as well as the interest. They are concessional advantage in terms of customs duty. They are giving the value advantage for special guarantee program by for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. So all sort of initiatives taken by the government around the world. There are two aspects to it. One is the fiscal side, another one is the monetary side. The fiscal side comes from the finance ministry. The monetary side comes from the regulators, central bankers. Both are working together to stimulate the economy. Every country does the same. Between 10 to 15% of their GDP, they are spending for recovery of the whole economy. So, some sectors are impacted? The answer is yes and no. Most of the sectors are impacted, and everyone is going to go through new normal phase, and everyone has to be governed by the government directive to see that we hold the financial stability in tandem to ensure we recover sustainability. We make sure that the business continues. Otherwise, you will have more bankruptcy, more termination of the business. Sustainability is what we need to aim at, and business continuity is what we need to aim at. One is to manage the disaster, another one is to come back to normalcy for continuity. Both are happening simultaneously, and the government directives are the key to ensure we have liquidity and financial stability.
True, sir. So indeed, it's a very crucial moment, the critical situation that we are in. But having said that, promises, faith, and hope, these are certain things which keeps us going. So promises are what sustains life on the planet. You have been the face of banking in Qatar. In view of the present pandemic, still, what is the future promise of banking?
See, banking is an integral part of the society. See, banking will continue to have certainty in terms of continuity and sustainable value creation. So we have reasons to believe market dynamics changes, crisis comes and goes. And set standards in global terms is what we practice. So as far as the commitment to financial service is concerned, it is total. Banking system is age-old, and irrespective of the current crisis, the banks will recover, the economy will recover, the overall stability will come in. Economic fundamentals in global terms has to recover for all of us to respond to the changing dynamics. So the current dip in the overall, the market or the institutions or individuals' ability to service debts are all on account of the pandemic. But there are steps taken. That's where global directives are there. The countries are coming together to add value in terms of monetary policy, fiscal policy, what you call, as I explained to you earlier. Politicians, economists, bankers are all thinking together in each country, and also in global terms, not only WHO, the various regulatory alignment comes in, whether it is Federal Reserve, Bank of England, European Central Bank, Qatar or regional central banks, or Indian Reserve Bank, or Bank of Tokyo, Bank of Japan, or even Australian banks. All are thinking together to see how to pull out of the common man, how to make sure the business continuity and sustainability comes in. At the same time, we cannot lose sight of the bigger picture. How do we ensure this is not resulting in additional poverty? How do we eradicate extreme poverty again in the current years on account of this crisis? What will be the cyclical impact? How do we ensure the global warming and climate change? Now we are seeing carbon emission has reduced because of road transport or air transport has been scissored for a long time. But at the same time, digital governance comes in, financial inclusion comes in, technology plays a bigger role. So how do we make sure we pull the world to sustainable development as defined by the United Nations? How are we going to put the world back in track? That's the job of all of us. So that is where the commitment required from every individual, institution, society at large, and countries and continents and world at large will come together. So the bigger picture is the mission is on. We all have commitment to humanity and human prosperity and sustainable value generation. And that is what we are going to do it in the coming days. It's going to be challenging. At the same time, we have to go through this and we will integrate our mindset. We will come together to see that we will create a better world, better sustainable journey.
Mm-hmm. So true, indeed, it's time for all the authorities, every single individual, every segment to come together and think about it. It is about us right now and not, it is about thinking beyond ourselves and coming together to serve the community. So you're one such person nobody has seen grin, grumpy or complaining ever. Smiling and extending a rainbow to all always. So what other personal qualities of yours have sustained you through all the odds?
Well, there's a positive attitude. Life is full of opportunities. There's nothing to, complain about the value creation. We are born with a purpose and we have the positive attitude. Once you have conviction, we love everyone, we like everyone, everything is interesting, every day is productive, every day is a new day. Embrace the change. This is one such phase. So our consistent commitment to humanity and making sure the love and affection, again, ensuring positivity in every single energy which we culminates is the drive. And as I always say, if you aim at short term, you cultivate flowers. If you aim at medium term, you cultivate trees. If you aim at long term, eternity, you build humanity. And that's what exactly the world is all about. Just simply love everything, accept things as it comes. Ensure you have positive energy when you interface people and institutions or individuals. Ensure you have a drive to achieve that. And transparency comes in. Practice truth as a principle-centered value. There is a purpose behind our living. And making sure the drive comes in, then the determination comes in. Because everything is measurable, manageable, achievable. You can. If you have constructive thinking, the positivity comes in. The value streams is automatically generating, extraordinary sense of mission and execution. And you love people. Once you start loving the humanity, everything comes in. Every day is interesting. Everything is possible. Every day is inspirational. Every day is motivational. And that's what we need. We need success or failure. This incident, success does not mean absence of failure. But our thought process should be always, believe in positivity. Thought becomes action, action becomes habit, habit becomes character, character becomes destiny. And that's what exactly keeps me quiet. I believe in righteousness. When there is righteousness in your heart, as APJ Abdul Kalam mentioned, there is beauty in your character. When there is beauty in your character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in your home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. That's what keeps me going. And excellence is not a one-time act. It's a habit. You have to keep building the righteousness. Every day, whatever you do, you have to generate the positive values and energy, which is nothing but your consciousness. Every time you are conscious and you are spreading the meaning of consciousness in your dispositions, and everything becomes interesting, everything becomes exciting, everything becomes productive, everything becomes positive. And that's what transmit, translate, transcend within you, around you, across you. So that generates too much of, and seizing opportunities. This crisis itself is an opportunity for us to transform. That's how I interpreted it. But this crisis, to be positively reflective on your purposeful mission, this will generate an enormous amount of value in reorganizing our committed mission to humanity. And that's what I am going to do. Instead of bogging down with all these challenges we have, map it. It's an energy, positive energy to see, leave alone the human loss we have had. That is extraordinary. That is very sad. That is tragic. But we have to learn lessons out of this experience and transform the future world for better order. Not only we have to create a better world, better citizenship in this world. That's the mission I have personally, professionally.
Sir, I'm spellbound. And how true is that it's time to serve the humanity. We need to have that compassion within us. We need to fill ourselves with positivity, because that is what will help us get through this. So indeed, it's what you have said will transform me as well, sir. That's for sure. So you are a core environment lover and at the same time an ardent humanitarian. What, according to you, is a positive stance or message that can sustain the rainbow in a common man's life?
Well, see, what disturbs everyone is inequality, despair, and ignorance. If you think there is a purpose behind your value creation, again, I'm coming back to the same point, and your job is to simply radiate values to everyone, your ability to articulate solutions is always there. Problems become challenges, and commitment becomes society at large, and your value streams becomes more positive, and you will make it happen. You are going to, ensure not only you measure the problems, you see the possibilities. You're going to not only look at the pain in the current context, the long-term gain you're going to have in terms of value streaming. So what radiates in your mind is a reflection of your quality which you seed in your action and habits. And that's what exactly we need to do. In the current context, yes, there are challenges, there are disruptions, there are dislocations, there are discomforts. But how do we, going forward, what we'll do? Yes, we will use this opportunity to reduce carbon emission. We'll create a green mission. We will bring in, under the fold of digitization, everyone into the banking system. We will make sure we will create, now we are aiming at food security. We will have continuing commitment to food security. We will also now, online, offline education systems comes in. Everything is possible in terms of a digital makeup. World becomes an integral part of a single unit. You can stay connected. You can have intellectual property buying at any time, like you and me are conversing. So you can have a global flow of knowledge base. So keep doing it. So the world is streaming with a fresh perspective. This is a bigger opportunity. Whether a rich country or a poor country or a big country or a small country, whether you're black or white, it transcended everything now. This is a bigger ask for us from the God to transform this world. And this is being a solution to transform. And that's what I interpret. This crisis is an opportunity for us to transform our lifestyle, personal lifestyle, professional ethics, commitment to hygiene, commitment to water safety, water continuous flow, protect the animals. We have to necessarily, under the water, above the water, we have to make sure endangered species are protected. We have to go for forestation. We have to ensure we live with nature and we align ourselves instead of compressing the mother nature and going against the nature. Embrace the nature and live with the nature so that we create a new world order. And that's the purpose of this crisis, I suppose. And that's what exactly is going to be a trigger for us to transform our personal lifestyle, professional lifestyle, and it becomes more ethical and moral in terms of governance. See, all this set of discipline which we are talking about, including social distancing, hygiene maintenance, is here to stay. It's not going to stop. If it is human to human transmission, it tells you beyond definition, this is not a one-time solution. no healthcare systems can prevent it anymore. Some of the basic disciplines we have to get back as humankind. And that is what the opportunity we have. Why do we misinterpret rather? This is only a crisis. I think it's an opportunity for us to transform and coming together as humanity for human prosperity.
Definitely, sir. Indeed, it's very true that it's all about we, and together we will get through this. Thank you so very much, sir, for your valued time and experience. It was such an insightful conversation, and I'm pretty sure it is going to light up the lives of many. Thank you so, so much, sir.
Absolute, my delight, Anshu. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care, sir.